Hey everyone, in this video I'm heading to the mountains to show you how to cook up some hot smoked meat using time-tested techniques. Buckle up and check out these rad, primitive methods that make this cooking process totally epic. I need a sharp knife for trimming the beef to slice off that thin, stringy layer of connected tissue covering the muscles. This will make the meat way more tender and tastier. Alright, now let's find the joint where the bones connect and cut into it. Slice along the muscles so the meat comes out even. And next, we'll trim off all the meat from the bone. Make sure you get every bit to keep it nice and clean. Now, I'm going to slice it into big flat chunks like steaks. Check out these perfect cuts, truly a feast for the eyes. And if you're enjoying the process, show some love by hitting that like button, subscribing, and ringing the bell to stay updated with all our delicious content. Alright buddy, it's your turn to grab your share. Go ahead and dig in. This treat is all yours. Next, I'll cut these beefsteaks into cubes and chop up some fat to match. Now, let's grind up some peppers, garlic and rosemary and sprinkle a bit of it on the meat. Get in there and mix it all up until the meat's coated evenly. Take the remaining garlic and rosemary and season them with a generous pinch of salt and pepper. This will be perfect for the other beef steaks. Let it all sit for a bit so the flavors can really soak in. For the rest of the beef steaks, we're going to take that mix of salt, rosemary and garlic and rub it all over the meat. Make sure to press it in firmly so every inch of the steak gets coated. Flip them over and do the same on the other side. This will make sure that every steak is loaded with rich flavor. Okay, now we are done. We need to let the meat marinate for 1 day. Time to grab our meat. It's released some juice and as you can see, the color has turned brown. When you marinate meat, the salt and acid in the mix pull out the moisture, which causes it to leak juice and change color. You've probably guessed why these ropes are here. I'm using them to hang our beef steaks in the smoker. This way, the smoke can reach every side of the meat evenly. Here's the scoop. Once the steaks are hanging, the smoker's heat and smoke will infuse them with an amazing smoky flavor and make them nice and tender. With the rest of the ground meat, I'm making sausages. I'm using this handy machine, which is ideal for anyone into homemade sausages. I'll slide these beef intestines onto the metal tube, and as the meat comes out, it'll fill them up perfectly. Tie them off at the end with some rope and make sure they're secure. I'll poke a few holes in the sausages so they don't blow up during the smoking process. There's a pit not far from here where we're going to do the smoking. Let's head over. Here's the plan. I'll set up 3 branches across the pit and hang our meat on them. Then I'll get the fire going with some wood. Back in the day, it was the go-to method for keeping meat from going bad before we had fridges. Smoking cooks the meat slowly over wood or charcoal, giving it a smoky flavor and helping it last longer. I added some leafy branches to keep the smoke contained. Now, let's remove them and check out our smoked meat. It should be beautifully dark and infused with a rich, smoky flavor. The meat has a deep, appetizing color and a perfect texture. Four months ago, I planted a bunch of veggies, including cabbage. Now it's harvest time. I'm heading out to grab some fresh green peas, sweet corn, juicy tomatoes, crisp green peppers, and, of course, the big, gorgeous cabbage I've been waiting on. I still remember the time I planted these, getting my hands dirty, digging in the soil, and watching those tiny sprouts pop up. If you enjoy these glimpses into nature and my wild cooking, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to get fresh content. It's seriously awesome to see them turn into something you can actually eat. Everything's ripe and ready to roll. Before we wash these up, let's break up the beans. They're so soft and crunchy, no knife needed. Our hands can handle it. There you go. It's super satisfying, trust me. Now, let's give them a good wash. I always rinse them thoroughly, but honestly, I doubt store-bought veggies ever get truly clean. with all the preservatives and stuff they're treated with. I also give our smoked steaks a rinse and a good scrape to get rid of any residue from the smoke. It's important to clean off everything that might have stuck to the surface during the smoking process. I want to make a nice hearty stew with smoked meat and veggies picked from my garden. First, I'm going to cut them into cubes. Once I'm done with the meat, I'll move on to the onions and dice them up nicely. I'm going to stew the meat with the onions first before adding any water. Stewing the meat with onions before adding water helps to build a deeper flavor base for the stew. Let's get some butter. Here you go. Butter and sarge are key players here. Down goes the meat. Pour some water over it, and then add the green beans. Let's chop up the rest of the veggies, tomatoes, peppers, corn, and toss them into the pot. This will make the stew delicious, with tomatoes adding sweetness and corn a buttery hint. Also, check out our store for top quality knives and wooden utensils. Wooden bowls are great for organizing ingredients and adding a rustic touch. Let's get to the cabbage and corn. Chop the corn into big chunks and the cabbage into pieces. Not too big, not too small. Then toss everything together with the tomatoes into the pot. I'll add in the smoked sausage we made along with the chopped cabbage to add some rich flavour and extra texture. My guests are about to arrive. Ah, here you are. I've been waiting for you. You have no idea what I've got cooking. Find yourselves a spot and hang tight. It's time to serve up the food. I'll dish out the stew in small bowls, making sure each one gets a bit of everything. They can smell the stew from a mile away. No need to even call them. Kids know the secret to getting the most flavour. Soaking flatbread in the sauce to soak up all that deliciousness. Finally, it's time for me to enjoy the reward for all that hard work. I'm starting with the sausage. Let's see. Yeah, my face says it all. This stew is pure comfort food, and the smoked meat brings an amazing, bold flavour. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to get new videos with homemade culinary adventures in the mountains of Azerbaijan. Catch you later.
Kanalımıza dəstək olmaq istəyirsinizsə, onlayn mağazamızdan xüsusi bıçaq və ya taxta qablarımızı əldə edə bilərsiniz. Mağazanın linki videonun altındakı təsvirdə var. Super!